Hello and welcome to another episode of My Backstage Pass. This is your host, Lee Zimmerman, and I'm here with my producer and co-host, Billy Hubbard. It's great. I love doing this live. The applause is... We do have an applause button on here. This is much better. So tonight we're excited to have a wonderful, wonderful husband-wife duo from Nashville, the HawtHorns. Let's have a round of applause to welcome them. Thank you. Thank you. I'm a little bit partial because I know these two people, and they're as nice and warm and gracious as their music. And their music is nice and warm and gracious, so that's saying a lot. Wonderful harmonies, wonderful melodies. They just recently released their second album, Tarot Cards and Shooting Stars, which kind of rhymes. I like that. And so we're going to be talking with them tonight, and then they're going to play us some music. So first of all, again, thanks for making the trip from Nashville to visit us here in Maryville.
Maryville.
Maryville, one syllable. Come on, one syllable.
Maryville.
Maryville. Now, y'all, you haven't lived in Nashville all that long, right? You moved there, 3-4 years ago? Or?
Yeah, well, we bought a place in 2017 because there was no way to survive in Los Angeles anymore. But we were keeping a place in LA, and then the pandemic hit, and I was secretly trying to get Johnny to move to Nashville, but it took a pandemic. So in 2020, the day that LA shut down, I was already there, and he got on a plane, and that's when we moved, March of 2020.
Wow, so it's been 2 years now, March 2020.
Yep.
Wow. I've heard about this pandemic thing. You'll have to fill me in later because
later.
I've heard it's a very bad thing. But it's great to have you here. How long were you in LA? Were you born and bred and raised in LA?
Well, I was not born and bred in LA, but I'm a Californian.
Okay.
I was from Santa Cruz, the Santa Cruz Mountains, Boulder Creek, and then Southern California, all over. My whole big family's all from Northern California, and I've always lived down there. I moved to LA not till about 2010. And Johnny, what about you? Tell me your story.
What's your story, Johnny?
I'm originally from Philadelphia, PA. Woo!
Yeah.
But I moved out to Los Angeles relatively young, 18, 19, and been there ever since. So, moved out for the weather mostly and music. I'm not going to lie to you. It's really nice out there.
Yeah. And both of you had solo careers or still semi-solo careers aside from your work with the HawtHorns. So maybe you could fill us in on your backstory a little bit.
Sure. So I before I married Johnny Hawthorn, and I was named KP Hawthorn, I was named Kirsten Prophet. And I have a whole thing from 2006 on. I had released a bunch of records and gotten into the TV and film thing, whatever that is, the TV and film racket, where you write songs for TV and film and they place your music. And so I was on a lot of TV shows and stuff. And then in the end of 2012, I started a band with two girls called Calico the Band. And that was a real fun Americana female trio, just 3-part harmonies and real beautiful, fun thing to do. But don't do it for too long because hanging out with 3 girls in a van is hard. But we were at it for about 7 years, and then and Johnny and I, how about you, Johnny?
Well, I was out there doing music as well, like a hired gun, which is basically people hire you to play on their records or their recording sessions. And about, 2007 or 8, I started making my own records. And when KP and I hooked up together, I was ready to start a band, but she was still with Calico. So we decided, wait till you're finished so we can have a fresh start and start our own band. And that's what we did. So when her project came to an end, we're like, okay, let's do it. And we rapidly wrote some songs and also brought in some songs from our past projects and put out our first record, which is called Morning Sun. And that's when I first met you.
Yes, but I guess more importantly, yeah, you met me. That's important.
That's pretty important.
Let me just dwell on that for a minute. Oh, more importantly, how did the two of you meet?
Well, that's up for debate, and there's a constant argument or there's a subtle disagreement. But we did, because we were in Los Angeles running in the same circles, and he was playing guitar with a lot of my friends, and I was playing music and stuff. We just kept crossing each other's paths. And there was one particular gig that we were invited to play, my band and a band he was playing in, that was on a flatbed truck at a big schoolyard, and there were just, I don't even remember what it was for, but
it was actually, I was playing with Nicole, I think. Yeah,
he was playing with a girl named Nicole. Anyway,
ooh, is that okay now? We mentioned Nicole.
I did not even know that he was there, but what happened was he noticed me at that show, and then but somebody blocked him, and so he got blocked. 10-yard penalty. And but then life went on. We kind of knew about each other, and we kept running into each other at this bar in Los Angeles called the Cinema Bar, which was his like local hang. And pretty much you could count on him to be there after a show or something. It's just down the street from his house. And we just kept kind of running into each other there. And then one day, I don't know what it was, I liked him. He was just nice, and who could resist this face? And
well, it was timing too, because I think like all the times we would run into each other, I was involved with somebody or she was involved with somebody. But one time we ran into each other and said, "Are you dating anybody? No. Are you? No. Let's go out."
Yeah. And then on our first date, I'll just say this little story. So he didn't even think I was actually going to come over, but I did, and came over, and I walked into his little tiny apartment on Venice Boulevard. And it was just full of guitars. Like, you know how girls collect shoes? Well, this one collects, like, there were just nothing. There was no room to sit. It was ridiculous. There were just so many guitar cases. And so I walked in. I remember I was really tired because we had just done a photo shoot with our band. And I said, "Wow, you have a lot of guitars. Can we open them up?" And so we started opening up guitars, and we ended up playing guitars for hours and hours and hours before we went to like late night howls and had food and listened to jazz music. So that's the story of our beginnings. On the record.
And it's been heaven ever since.
Well, that's a lovely story. So the music and the relationship kind of merged, and it all came together like that. That's terrific. When did you decide that, hey, we have this chemistry? When did you decide, well, let's do something and build a band out of it?
Well, I think we decided that right away.
Okay.
But I had this thing that her band with the other female singers is very tenuous, and there was a lot of emotions. So I said, let's not start anything until that band has run its course, because people get a little bit weird if you're in a band and then you start doing side projects. And so we knew right away that we were going to write and do stuff. But I was pretty adamant at not even like sitting in the house and working on ideas, because she gets very excited and she's like, let's record. And then, word gets out, and then, I didn't want to be the reason their band broke up, but their band broke up anyway. So I knew it was just a matter of time.
Okay. All right. Now, you've had 2 albums to date, right? Yes. The first one came out, a couple of years ago?
2019 in August.
Okay.
We had 6 whole months to tour on it.
All right. And your wonderful new record came out recently, right? I mean, that was...
Friday.
It was Friday?
Yeah, it was last
Friday?
Yeah.
This is kind of like a record release party then.
Is.
I love that, a record release party. I hope you brought some...
we brought some stuff.
You brought some stuff.
Yeah.
It really, again, I have to say, it's really a wonderful record. I'm curious, for the two of you, what kind of transition from the first album to the second album? What did you do differently? What did you learn? What did you put into practice that maybe, you started with the first album and you built on that for the second one?
Yeah, that is like, we've talked about that a lot, because when we first started and we made that first record, we just kind of went, oh my gosh, we got to hurry, because my band ended and we had, you know how you have momentum with something, and so you want to kind of use your momentum to make something new happen. And we both had been working so much that we had a little bit of, I don't know, something. So we wanted to hurry up and put that record out. So we hired a producer, which we really don't normally do. We're both kind of producers ourselves. But we did, and we got a record label, and we made this record. And the thing that I've learned about Johnny is that he needs time with his guitar and his quiet place to listen to the songs and like really work out those parts. And we didn't do that on the first record. We all kind of pushed him. And the record came out great. It sounds lovely, but I could tell something was missing in it. We both knew that something was missing. We still enjoyed it and we still love it and everything. But the second record, we had so much time. For an unknown reason, we all had time. But we did have time, and we were able to just take it apart and reimagine what something could sound like recorded without worrying about like what it's supposed to sound like on stage, and layer things and put little sounds here and there and just make it sound very magical on the recording. And that was fun, because it's like painting a picture, right?
Yeah.
Right, Elisa? I mean, it's like you get to paint a little and then stand back and look at it and then come back to it again. It's not like this time and place like everything has been, because we've been so rush. But this time we had time, and we were able to make a real beautiful thing.
That you did. And I think I have so much that I want to talk to you about and ask you about, but I think at this juncture, the best thing to do would be to have you do a few songs.
Okay.
All right?
All right, Dan.
Okay.
All right.
So tell them about this first one there.
We're going to do Let's Get Together
Yeah.
first? Okay. So this is kind of our, like, we just missed everybody so much song. And it's just a song to, like, tell all of our friends, let's all hang out. I don't mind a little rain, it needs to fall sometimes. I don't feel like digging up the past today. It's such a waste. I don't need to see the future, because I know what's happening. It's just tomorrow. It's gonna happen anyway. Let's get together. Hard days won't last forever. Thinking of high times, the ones we won't forget. Fate's in our pocket, and not a thing's gonna stop it. We're over the bad times. Look back with no regret. The best years we've ever spent. Feels like time to change the scene. Better things are coming. Change your mind about the people in your life. Sometimes I can't decide. Look outside, and where the sun touches the sea, that's where I'll be, on the horizon. Are you coming after me? Let's get together. Hard days won't last forever. Thinking of high times, the ones we won't forget.
pocket, and not a thing's gonna stop it. We're over the bad times, look back with no regret. Best years we've ever spent. Let's get together. Hard days won't last forever. Thinking of high times, the ones we won't forget. Things in our pocket, not a thing's gonna stop it. We're over the bad times, look back with no regret. The best years we've ever spent. Na 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 na. They were the good times. They were the good times. Na 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 na. These are the good times. The good times. Na 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 na. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, just you.
Thanks, guys. You know, I'm always kind of hoping that people will break out into like na 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 with us. Yeah, we got to start it. We got to warn people, I think.
Which one now?
Let's do All the Right Reasons. So this little tune is called All the Right Reasons, and we made a really cool video for this. Yeah, it's on YouTube and all the things, but we filmed it just down the street from our house at a bar called Dee's. Dee's Lounge in Nashville, East Nashville, if anybody knows about that place. But
a lot of bars in our life.
Yeah, a lot of bars. A lot of everyday kind of bars. 1, 2, 1, 2. We were young and wild, pulled in by the undertow. Who was I to know? We had every intention of carrying on. We had all the right reasons for doing me wrong. Dancing in the dark in the summer rain. And the girl you took home didn't know your name. The day goes by, I don't remember that song. All the right reasons for doing me wrong. No one ever tells you, 'cause no one really knows how to play the game. You learn it as you go. I told you I would stay, but I never did belong. You had all the right reasons for doing me wrong. You had all the right reasons for doing me wrong. So confused and I couldn't see clear. And I missed you so much all the rest of that year. But you knew you couldn't keep stringing me along. 'cause no one really knows how to play the game. You learn it as you go. I told you I would stay, but I never did belong. You had all the right reasons for doing me wrong. You had all the right reasons for doing me wrong. No one ever tells you, 'cause no one really knows how to play the game. You learn it as you go. I told you I would stay, but I never did belong. You had all the right reasons for doing me wrong. You had all the right reasons for doing me wrong. You had all the right reasons for doing me wrong. You had all the right reasons for doing me wrong. Thank you. What a nice venue we're in, too. This is the Bird in the Book. So cool, and all the blue lights and with the white lights. I'm so inspired for my patio right now. Shall we do It's a Gift?
Oh, yeah.
Or is that what you'd like to
Yeah.
do? It's a group meeting that we're having on stage here. I think we're going to do this song. It's called Baby, It's a Gift. And this little tune is something that got written right before we stopped touring in 2020, and then we realized it was very meaningful after the fact. So, ready?
Yeah.
Never thought I'd have a place in the valley, cars in the alley, out in the barrio. Saving money for a weekend in Vegas, dreaming of places you and I wanna go. Maybe it ain't everything we wanted. Hey, look at everything we've got instead. Baby, it's a gift. The pain and the struggle, the push through the trouble, it gives us more than we know. Maybe this is it, learning as we go to become better people along this crazy road. You and I together on our own. Baby, it's a gift. Are we gonna be late on the taxes? Credit is maxed. It's hard not to fall apart. Well, we might as well make it a party. It's still got a heartbeat, give it a jump start. And I can't promise you tomorrow. The only guarantee is what's inside our hands. Baby, it's a gift. The pain and the struggle, push through the trouble, it gives us more than we know. Maybe this is it, learning as we go to become better people along this crazy road. You and I together on our own. Baby, it's a gift. is it. Learning as we go to become better people along this crazy road. Maybe it's a gift, the pain and the struggle, the push through the trouble that gives us more than we know. Maybe this is it, learning as we go to become better people along this crazy road.
Thank you so much.
We'll talk after. Do one more, then we'll...
Okay, the consensus is that we're going to do one more, and then we're going to talk some more.
And then they'll do more after that, so not to worry.
Broken Wings.
All right.
Okay. We're going to do one. All those songs that we did are all on our new record, but we have this song. We have a whole bunch from the other one that we also like to share. So there's a song about a mean friend. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. You called me friend. I was there for you, but it was just pretend. I believed in you. We were making plans, and you had your own. And when you cut me out, it got me to the bone. Yes, I'm glad you let your real colors show. And you clipped my broken wings to keep me on the ground. And you take my everything, so don't try to tell me that you love me now. With your sleight of hand and your best shell game, you had them all believing I was the one to blame. But now the makeup's off and the curtains down, and we're standing eye to eye. There's no reason left to lie. The truth is all right. And you clipped my broken wings to keep me on the ground. And you take my everything, so don't try to tell me that you love me now. Turn your head up to the sky. You're not the only one to fly. And you clipped my broken wings to keep me on the ground. And you caged my energy and tried to hold me down. And you keep up the masquerade and paint me as your clown. And you take my everything, so don't try to tell me. No, don't try to tell me that you love me now.
That was just great. That was just great. You know, I don't know about y'all, but hearing music like that, it's like comfort food, you know, in these turbulent times, to hear these beautiful harmonies and these warm, emotive melodies. It's, you know, it's very special, and it's much needed
Thank you.
now. Much needed now. So, the question that I have on my mind is, your songs are so wonderful. How do these come about? I mean, do you have a thought, okay, let's write about this, or are you walking in the park and a melody comes to you? How does songwriting process happen for you?
Well, for me, it happens in bulk. I get in a songwriting mood, and I want to make things. And all the things start coming at once, and I can't, I have to really focus and get them all, kind of sparsed out and then start working on them one at a time. Or he'll say something funny, or somebody will say something that will be like, oh, that would be a good line, and then you kind of build it around there. But mostly, more than any other thing, I love melodies, and just ever since I was a little kid, I just hum some kind of melody. Like I love a major 7 in a chord, or some interesting lift or movement or something. And when I was a little kid, my mom had all the Joni Mitchell records, and I used to sit in front of the thing and just listen to her sing to me, and with all that lilty melody and stuff. So I get inspired by those kinds of things, and a song comes out. I mean, that's for me. How about you, Johnny?
I'm kind of different in that, I'll be playing the guitar and something will come out of it. I think Keith Richards said that, basically he just facilitates the music through the guitar, and I feel that I'll come up with an idea, and of course with the smartphone now, you can record your stuff pretty easily. So I'll send it to her, and I'll go, hey, I just came up with this idea. What do you think? And she'll go, well, that sucks, or no, that's really good. She's brutally frank, And so a lot of times we'll start a song from that, and then she's more or less in charge of the melodies and stuff, because I think, or I might have something, it's very organic the way it starts. It just, something will happen, and you write a song. I've never been the type of songwriter that says, go out and write a song right now, and okay, here I go. I can't do that. It has to happen. I mean, unless it's the TV stuff, I can do that all day. But.
Yeah, let's talk about that. You all write songs for TV that we might have heard on film and TV shows, and we had no idea it was you, but it was you. That's something you do.
Those are more instrumental type songs. So I work for what's called a library, and what they'll do is they'll contact me and they'll say, we need several songs, and we want them to sound like this, maybe from the 50s or from folk pop 60s. So I'll listen to that, and then I'll write my own songs utilizing those elements. Mm-hmm. So it's not as it's a little bit it's not as precise.
Call it what it is.
Well, it's like
Johnny always tells me
hot dogs and hamburgers.
Yeah.
It's not making steak.
Yeah.
You basically you make it and send it out the door. Because if you spend too much time on it, it's not worth doing. So,
but my
yours
my
was
TV
different.
stuff is different because I got in on kind of the end of this period in the 2007, 2008 when indie artists were getting on TV, and just a guy at Sony Music Television was at one of my shows and said, I'd like to put that in. It was like the last season of a show called Dawson's Creek. And then because of that, I got hundreds of them after. And it's just basically my songs just on all these shows. And I would get the statements, and it would say, that show, Say Yes to the Dress, it's on cable, those kinds of shows. And it would be in 40 of them on that show. And I just, I was really grateful for it, because it just made it so that I could make a living playing and writing, and it was fun. It is fun. And Johnny and I still do, a lot of our songs are on TV and film now too. I got to write, a friend of mine was making all the music for Martin Short. Martin Short's character?
We love him, yes.
Lala Wood, or what's it called, honey? Jiminy Glick.
Oh, yeah.
So he made a movie with his brother, and I did all the music for that film. And it's hilarious. It's funny music. It's a funny movie. And that was a great experience. And, it's, you kind of stumble into these things. We didn't have to wear a fat suit while we were making the record. We just had to do it for Jiminy Glick, who was wearing the fat suit.
So now, at some point in your career, you're going to have to put together an anthology of all these TV themes that you've done. Yeah. You know, so we can hear them by themselves as music.
Pieces, yeah.
Yes, pieces, yeah.
Some of them are embarrassing because they don't make sense out of context. But then when you hear them, you know, when in context, what you're watching, you know, like, anyway, kind of get the point.
No, you are a very professional showbiz types. I know this because, well, you are working on a documentary, are you not? You're producing. Why don't you tell us about that? It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm a Californian, and I've been playing music in California all my grown-up life. And in 1995, a club, which I never went to, closed, and it was called the Palomino Club of North Hollywood. You guys heard of it?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Very
it's kind of the
famous.
epicenter of country music in California. And what people in like Nashville and the South don't understand a lot of times is that there is a huge country music movement in California for decades. And not to go into too much geeky history, because I will go there if you let me, so don't. You got to get the crane and like pull me off stage. But the Dust Bowl happened in the 1930s. All these people moved, brought their mandolins and all their amazing music and culture to California, and ended up making amazing country music in California. And the Palomino is kind of like the Grand Ole Opry West. And we've interviewed everybody for this movie. We even interviewed Emmylou Harris and Lucinda and Joe Ely and Albert Lee and Jim Lauderdale and Buddy Miller and James Infield and Rosie Flores, all these like California people who really came up playing in that club. And the movie is actually about California country and its home at the Palomino Club. So it's kind of this untold history of California country music, and we're so excited because there's really not that much on the record about it. So somehow we are shouldered with this burden, and my partner Adrian and I on this, we can't stop, we can't die until this movie gets made. So we're close.
Good. Well, please don't die, because we want you to complete the movie, but we don't want you to die for other reasons too. So. When will this be released, and where will we be able to see it?
So it's going to be trickling out at the end of this year with little trailers here and there, and hopefully the middle of next year it'll be out for everybody to see in one way or another. We're not quite sure yet with the distribution, but we're getting there. So,
that's great.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, you have your own record label too. You're very busy people.
I know, yeah, we are.
Very busy.
So this little record label, it's called Mule Kick Records. The Palomino Club, before it was called the Palomino, was called the Mule Kick in 1949. And so we named our production company Mule Kick Productions. And because we reopened the club for one night in 2018, and we made like a double album, we recorded everything, we got beautiful tracks that's going to be on part of the soundtrack. We needed a record label kind of for the soundtrack, so we put a back end together, you know, like we just put all the pieces together, the business side. And then we were like, well, hey, why don't we put out our friends' albums while we're at it? So we got a bunch of these amazing musicians on this little record label, and it's become quite a community. And that's kind of the whole reason this whole thing started, was because we were looking for a community and we wanted to participate and bring people together. And I know it sounds cliche, but it really is what happened.
That's terrific. And who are some of the artists that you have on the label now?
So we have Andrew Leahy and the Homestead from Nashville.
Yeah, and he's hung around here too, these parts of the world. Yeah. Yeah,
he's really great. And we put out his last record, which was American Static Volume 1, and now we're getting ready for Volume 2. We have the fantastic Rosie Flores, who is this just like,
legendary. Yeah.
We've been working with her, and we started working with her because she's such a big part of the film. And we're so happy to have her, her new project on that label. And a band called Nocona, which is my friend partner Adrian's band. And they're fantastic, like old psycho cowpunk kind of band, something that would have happened in the 80s almost, but it's so cool now. And our band, the HawtThorns, and also a band, There's a gal named Alice Wallace that I've worked with for a few
Oh,
years.
yeah.
You know Alice?
Yeah.
She's fantastic. She yodels. She's crazy good. She got a partner, Caitlin Cannon. They made a band called Side Pony. And so we put their record out this year. And another brand new band, fantastic little like folky, bluegrassy pop band called Desert Hollow. And they're cute as buttons. And that's what we have so far.
You know, cutest button. Look at you, the two of you. You're cutest buttons. Come on. Let's be honest. But it's amazing. You're juggling a lot of balls in there, and you're very busy. And wow, it's impressive. Multitasking.
Yeah, it's a lot, but normally it doesn't all hit at the same time. So you can handle it.
Well, good.
Sometimes it does.
Sometimes it does.
Sometimes it does.
When it hits, it hits.
Well, let's hear a few more songs here, and then after this interlude, think about if you all have some questions for this couple, these lovely people. You'll be free to ask. So do a few more songs, and then we'll see if we have some questions.
Good.
Okay.
This is one off the new record called On the Way. Feeling so alive. Wore out the wheels on that old 65. Never thought we'd end up running blind. Tarot cards and shooting stars can't say whether we should try to break away or stay the course to run another day. But on the way, just when you think you've hit dry land, feel the ground, and on the way you think it's a straight shot. Think again, you'll get turned around, shake it off again, and you found you're right where you belong. Roads connecting life and love to the unknown. Go crazy if you stay out there too long. Signs are there to find your way back. On the way, just when you think you've hit dry land, you can't feel the ground. And on the way, think it's a straight shot. Think again, you'll get turned around, shake it off again, and you found you're right where you belong. You can't feel the ground, and on the way, right when you see that checkered flag, you've broken down. And on the way, just when you think you've hit dry land, you can't feel the ground. And on the way, think it's a straight shot. Think again, you'll get turned around. You'll be okay, my friend. Shake it off again. You're right where you belong. Thanks, guys. Thank you. So I'll just tell you a little bit about this song because it's kind of the first song that got written about us. I wrote it after we'd been seeing each other for a minute. And if any of you have been to Los Angeles, and driven on any of the terrible freeways? Okay. I lived in Burbank, and he lived in Venice Beach. So in between there's like, a mountain and a pass and the 405 freeway, which is the worst freeway in the history of freeways. But from technically and statistically and scientifically, fact. Yes, that it is the worst freeway. Anyway, we were falling for each other, and it was so good. Everything was easy and good, and except for that freeway. And I just thought, if that's the worst thing that we have, then we're doing okay, right? The damn freeway's backed up tonight. How am I gonna get to the other side? Detours take our precious time. We got nothing between us but the 405. It's not gonna be a high-speed chase. No sneaking into that diamond lane. Time's gonna tell me what it's all about. I've got everything I need right now. We've got life behind us, open skies above, and the walls of the canyon on either side. But in front of us now is a great divide, and there's nothing between us but the 405. Made my way west on a steel string. It was an ocean breeze that blew you in. I followed you home, got in your head, and I left my feathers next to your bed. Nothing's forever, change is sure. Tonight is all I'm asking for. If I can make it over this valley floor, I'm gonna come alive when I get to your door. We've got life behind us, open skies above, and the walls of the canyon on either side. But in front of us now is a great divide, and there's nothing between us but the 405. Let's hear some lap steel. We got time, we've got space. We got music, we've got grace. If we make it out of this city alive, I'm gonna scratch our names into a highway sign. Is it crazy that I feel this way when I don't even know your middle name? So I'm holding in what's on my mind, 'cause when I say it, I'm gonna mean it this time. Oh, I'm gonna mean it this time. We've got life behind us, open skies above, and the walls of the canyon on either side. But in front of us now is a great divide, and there's nothing between us but the 405. nothing come between us but the 405. Thanks, everybody. I never get tired of playing that one. Just so nice to hear him play that lap steel. That's a 1950s, what is that, Johnny, that brand of? It's a Supro. It's pretty super.
Does anybody have any questions or thoughts they want to share with this lovely duo? Okay.
There we got one.
All right. What's your question? I'll repeat it for them. If he has a what?
The one
A
I'm
favorite
playing
guitar.
tonight.
Okay. Does he have a favorite guitar? That's the question.
Well, I would say actually I have a Martin acoustic 000, and I like that one because that was the one we kind of like passed back and forth on that first night, you know.
Oh.
Do I get brownie points for that one? Thank you. Exactly.
Yes.
Any
Okay.
other questions?
Yes. Question. Okay, Michael. When can we expect that
We're
film?
hoping for middle of next year. We need to raise some finishing money, and but we're so close. So just keep your eyes peeled because I think it's going to be fairly soon. About a year from now.
Excellent. Where will it be shown? Will it be in festivals or at our local cinemas?
Yeah, we're going to be doing some festivals. We're not sure which ones yet, but and we're looking for a couple of release dates, theater dates, but also it would be really wonderful just to be on a big streaming platform so many people can learn the story. That's what's going to make me the happiest, that people actually get to hear this story.
And you'll probably have a big world premiere.
Oh yeah.
Here in Maryville. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. No, probably in
At your
Hollywood,
house.
right? Yeah, in my house. Okay. At least I'll make sure the house is cleaned. Okay. All right. Any other questions here? Any other thoughts? Oh, okay. Billy? How did you make the connections in Hollywood?
Right, for the TV and film stuff.
TV
Well,
and film.
I was part of a group called Honeypot. Did you ever hear of that before? It's kind of like everybody just schmoozed once a month, and some of the music supervisors would show up, and a bunch of the artists who were making singer-songwriter music that would work on television. Everybody kind of mixed together and get drunk, and yeah, that would happen. But I never really got anything from that. It was mostly just literally from that one gig. There was a club on Sunset Boulevard called the Coconut Teaser, and there was a little venue underneath it called 8121. Do you remember that? It was the Crooked Bar. You're not in LA.
Yeah.
And I was
I do.
That's a no. Hard no.
I love these sound effects. Sorry.
So, and I was just playing, and there was a guy from Sony Music Television there, and the next day I got a phone call, and he said, "Hey, I was at your show the other night, and I got your number from your manager or whatever," and I thought it was one of my friends joking on me, and then from then on, that's how it happened. But I think that happens a lot. You're just at the right place in the right time. There's no shortage of talent out there. It's just a shortage of the ability to get it heard by the world.
I'm curious, you were in LA, which is obviously a huge hub for the music business. Now you're in Nashville, like another huge hub for the music business. What do you see are the differences from trying to make a living in LA, make yourself known, recognition. And then in Nashville, is there a similar dynamic, or is it a different dynamic?
I think it's similar. There's differences. There's Broadway, which I'm sure all you guys are familiar with, that has about 300 bands on it every night. Yeah. And of course, you can choose that route. And just like in LA, it's not as focused as that. But, we did have the Sunset Strip, although that was more geared to original music. But in the 70s, like when Van Halen was playing, you had to play covers back then. So, but yeah.
I know we were doing history, though.
Well, all right. It's turned into a history lesson. But now, yeah, I feel like for me, it's a good time at this point in my life to be there. There seems to be a lot of people moving to Nashville, musicians and artists and producers and stuff. So I almost feel like it's better to be here from a networking standpoint.
Yeah. Well, and also you might say networking, but I think of it as community. And there's something that happened in Los Angeles. I was working my stuff there 2006, 2007, 2008. And there was more of a community because it wasn't completely priced out. There were areas that you could still live that weren't completely ridiculously like $1.5 million for a tear down, or rent that's like $4,500 for some little shack in the middle of the city. That's how it is there now. Silver Lake and Highland Park were still affordable, and you could do that. But now in Nashville, an artist has to be able to be an artist and survive. And that's why I believe Nashville has so much more of a community right now than LA does. And I love LA, but when you can't afford to live there, then the only people making music are hobbyists who have like rich husbands or rich parents or something. I know it sounds so mean, but it's really true. It's like, artists have to struggle for their art, right? To a point. And if you can't just live and struggle and make it and survive and eat food, then you have to move somewhere else. So there's definitely more of a community in Nashville right now.
So what's next for y'all? You have the new album out. Are you going to be touring? Well, I guess it's too soon to be thinking about the next record, but maybe you're already compiling songs for that.
We do have a couple songs that we wrote recently. Yeah, we recorded the basic tracks, and so, but that's kind of been on the back burner. Our main focus right now is we're heading to Austin next week to play this festival called the South by Southwest.
Oh, wow.
Festival.
Wow. Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's turned into, I was just going to post it tomorrow, but it's turned in like 10 dates of shows in like 7 days. So
wow.
We're going to work, but might as well. You're there. You might as well do it. Have fun.
You done South by Southwest before?
We have separately, but together we have never, because we got together in 2019.
Okay.
And we actually had a showcase in 2020 and then it got canceled. So we're super excited about that. But then after that we're go to California, come back. We have a date with the Bacon Brothers in Connecticut, and then we have to come down from there. We're going to do a lot of touring this year. We have dates booked out through August that are going to be up on the site. So
wow,
pretty exciting.
Wow, we're so fortunate to have you now before all the hubbub begins.
Well, I don't know. We're fortunate to have you.
Good. Give my regards to those Bacon Brothers. I wrote a bio for them. I actually talked
really?
to. Yeah, and I conversed with Kevin Bacon and
0 Degrees.
Yes,
from Kevin Bacon.
There you go. Yeah. So, all right. So, why don't you give us a few more songs? Then we'll say our goodbyes, and we'll be good.
Are you guys good with that?
Yeah. You want to hear a few more tunes?
We'll just do like 2 or 3 more songs, Johnny. Okay. How about we'll do? You want to do One Human at a Time?
Yeah. Sure.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that what you want to do? Have I asked that question already?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a, kind of a meaningful, spiritual kind of like, can't we all just listen to each other? And, listening being the main message here in this one. skin. I'd never know it by looking at you, what you believe, or your reasons why. But I'll be damned if I'm gonna tell you how you should feel or what you should justify. I have friends on every side of everything you can imagine in this life. Good people, crazy people, angry people, lonely people. So have some patience, and I'll be gracious, and we'll get through this paradigm, one human at a time. You wouldn't know it by looking at her, behind her smile and her pretty face. Single mother, working doubles, doing all she can to put food on their plates. I have friends on every side of everything you can imagine in this life. Good people, crazy people, angry people, lonely people. So have some patience, and I'll be gracious, and we'll get through this paradigm, one human at a time. You wouldn't know it, 'cause they didn't tell you about what they went through and how they survived. They live their stories, not the same, but what they have in common cannot be denied. I have friends on every side of everything you can imagine in this life. Good people, crazy people, angry people, lonely people. So have some patience, and I'll be gracious, and we'll get through this paradigm, one human at a time. One human at a time. Thanks, guys. Should we just finish it with a Lucky Charm?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. This is a little song from us to you.
To your point earlier,
Oh, boy.
What?
Uh-oh.
I had a
somebody was
point.
saying-
That's
somebody
great
was saying about
revelation.
like songs, and I said hot dogs and hamburgers, right? So we wrote this song because the place I work for was like, "Can you write a song like this?" And we wrote this song. We're like, "Nah, that one's too good to give away," you know.
Yeah.
So
We kept it.
there's always that option that you don't have to give the TV people everything. You don't give them the steak. That's right. See,
Yeah.
you get extra points.
Maybe a
for
little
it.
chicken, but not the steak. But thanks guys for coming and thank you. And just being able to sit in front of two people you've never met before and like listen for an hour and a half to all of our stories and to our songs you've never heard. We appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. So thank you so much. I wanna throw my pennies into that wishing well. They just sink to the bottom as far as I can tell. Oh, I'm not gonna sit and wait for that water to change my fate. I'm gonna move along 'cause you're my lucky charm.
I'm gonna hold that rusty horseshoe upside down. I'm gonna pour what's ever inside all over the ground. That four-leaf clover can just stay put, and that rabbit can't keep its foot. I don't need a thing 'cause you're my lucky charm. You, me, back to back, side by side. The deck is stacked and the odds are bad, but hey, we always win. Me, you, slipping through the cracks unnoticed. Oh, the world's against us, but it's ours in the end. I don't care if a shooting star goes flying by. It doesn't matter if every last one fell out of the sky. That old black cat can cross my way, and I got 3 on a match all day. Doesn't mean a thing 'cause you're my lucky charm. You, me, back to back, side by side. The deck is stacked and the odds are bad, but hey, we always win. Me, you, slipping through the cracks unnoticed. Oh, the world's against us, but it's ours in the end. I don't care if a shooting star goes flying by. Doesn't matter if every last one fell out of the sky. That old black cat can cross my way, and I got 3 on a match all day. It doesn't mean a thing 'cause you're my lucky charm. Doesn't mean a thing 'cause you're my lucky charm. Doesn't mean a thing 'cause you're my lucky charm. Thank you.
Thank you, HawtThorns. Billy, why don't you take us out of here?
Well, big thanks to the HawtThorns and our host, Lee Zimmerman. Check out Lee's book, Americana Music, Voices, Visionaries, Pioneers of an Honest Sound. Now available on Amazon. You can pay me later. Also, please like, share, and subscribe to my Backstage Pass on your favorite platform, and we'll see y'all next time. Happy trails.